Keep going.
Dare to defy.
Hey. Wait, let's do a little bit of higher energy. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you picked me out to do it just when you clicked it, motherfucker. Dare to defy.
And 1, 2, 3. Hey!
We made it, everyone.
Guys, welcome back to SourceFedNERD. It's this show!
Right now, what are we calling it right now?
Superhero Roundup
Rebirth.
Rolls right off the tongue. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode. We got a lot of positive feedback.
Cool.
Basically, it's very similar to the classic show Superhero Roundup that we had where we got to talk about all of the superhero shows that were on the air. But now we wanted to try something new. We wanted to kind of create a game out of it.
Yes.
We wanted to dive a little deeper into the episodes. We wanted to be a little more positive. Per some people, they say we're too negative towards some shows like Gotham.
I take all the responsibility times 20.
But so we wanted to try out this new format. So basically, each of us is going to take ownership of one of the shows this week, and we're going to fight to prove that it was the best episode of superhero TV this week.
Yes.
We'll get to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. one day, all right? We got to figure it out. We're going to have to add more people to this table, okay? So, this week, who's got Supergirl?
Oh, I do. That's
There
me.
you go.
Boom.
I figured it out.
Who's got Flash? Who's got Arrow? Who's got Legends?
Me.
There we go.
The victor of
And
last
as you
week.
can tell, we're all wearing shirts related to our shows.
Yep.
And that Sam's wearing a green one.
And I'm wearing
I don't know what's going on with that shirt, so therefore.
Obviously, this week's episode of Legends of Tomorrow took place at the Austin Sketch Comedy Festival.
Oh!
Yeah, so it's very on brand.
All right, but so the fun extra bit that we get to add to this show is that you guys get to actually participate with us to figure out the winner. Actually, at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. We're going to be live switching this little panel back here based on your votes in our poll. Now, if you look at the top of the description and in the chat right now, there's a link to go vote.
Go chat.
Isn't that cool? It popped up
Go
right
chat.
on our little chat.
You wrote go chat because you were saying the word chat.
Yeah, damn it.
Go
Hey,
chat.
I'll try again. Ready? Go.
Go chat.
Vote.
Spaghetti, meatballs.
chat.
Spaghetti,
You were
meatballs.
writing chat again. Now you wrote go vote cat.
Go vote, cats.
Go vote cat.
Go vote, Cat.
Go Sam, Team Sam. Yeah, let's go ahead and make teams.
Yeah.
Then we can make merch off of it.
Yeah.
All right, kicking it off
What?
with
Yes.
Supergirl.
Okay.
Oh, but we're not just kicking it off with Supergirl. We're kicking it off with story.
Oh!
Correctly, isn't that how this game
Yes.
is played? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Four categories.
explain how this game is played.
All right, we're gonna go down the line through the
Yes.
shows of the week. You have to cover 4 subjects. Story. Action.
Oh,
Easter eggs.
yes.
And an epic moment. I had a fifth one in there that I want to try, but we're gonna go ahead and figure that out next week.
Next
There you
week,
go.
because
Sounds
we're
like a
running
plan.
late.
All right, so kicking it off with story for Supergirl. DJ.
The story last week was really good. I feel like this episode picked it up even more. Like the characters are really. Last week was a lot of table setting, like getting people back into the groove, letting the CW watchers know what's going on.
Napkins.
Supergirl, napkins. This week we kind of get the sense of everything changing. Supergirl Kara is dealing with change in her life. Kat's leaving. Big tears, man. Like I'm gonna miss her.
Oh,
a lot.
did you tear up?
The Cat. I didn't tear up, but like
Cat Supergirl.
she's
But
so
you felt
great.
it.
I
Yeah.
feel like these last 2 episodes have been Kat's best episodes, and she was
Ooh,
great
I don't know
all
about
last season.
that.
Some of the best.
Some of the
Definitely
best.
some of the
Easily,
best.
yeah.
Her tough love with Kara has really found a nice groove, and she's helping Kara deal with her new boss, Snapper Carr, who's very definitely a Perry White stand-in.
Oh, you mean this Snapper card?
This Snapper Carr.
This is
Very
the
much-
Yeah,
angriest
face.
snapper car I've ever seen.
No, he's usually the
oldest
fun-loving
and
kid.
angriest. Yeah, exactly. He's the Jimmy Olsen of the Justice League.
He just is
Yeah.
pissed off that people call him Snapper.
I won't blame him. I don't blame him. Dealing with her new boss, dealing with the fact that Clark is getting ready to leave, and she starts considering going to Metropolis because it's the first time where she's felt at home, and with all this change, she wants to feel like she belongs, which of course puts a bug up Alex's ass because it's like, hey, I spent a lot of work on you, all right? And
One rebuttal. That was kind of a cheap shot that Alex took.
which
Continue.
Which one?
Which
Oh,
one?
just saying, hey, I sacrificed a lot
Yeah.
for you.
That
and
wasn't so
guilt
great,
trip.
but you know what was a good one was like Clark basically left you on our doorstep.
Yes,
and
it
bailed.
was.
That was a good nod
fucking dope.
Because all of a sudden he's not the Blue Boy Scout anymore. Oh, he's a little bit
Well,
more
and then
normal.
we get even more of that this week because he starts butting heads with John Jones about the Kryptonite, and also I'm not sure he's
Martin Manhunter.
Martin Manhunter.
I'm not sure he's right. I'm not Superman's right in that argument. I think I side with Martian Manhunter.
Well, no, but previously Superman has been very much like, yeah, hold on to some kryptonite. I don't know what
in the
happened.
comics, yeah. So and obviously we used the Kryptonite last season to save the day a couple times.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so a little more complication with that character. We also get Metallo, classic Superman villain. We get two Metallos.
Double Metallos.
Diversity hire
Two for the
Metallo.
price of one, exactly. And some really great action sequences. And again, and these shows do their best when they're able to connect to a real human feeling and that idea. And I think the best human emotion that connects with the Superman family is finding your place, feeling like you belong, because they are aliens and they don't really belong anywhere. And even Kara and Clark's relationship with the planet and how they got there is different enough that they don't really connect that well with each other. And so that's kind of what it was exploring. And it was a nice send-off to Cat Grant. It was a nice send-off to Superman after only 2 episodes. Gonna miss him too. And it's a great setup for what's to come.
I'm very excited. I will say one of my favorite moments is Kara standing her own and just standing her ground. That's what the term is.
No.
And just like turning in the paper and whatever.
Yeah, that was
kinda
really
worked.
cool. And every character
She
got
earned it.
Every character got a really cool moment. You had Kat and Kara obviously, and then
Jimmy.
Kara and Alex. Well, Jimmy didn't.
Just at the
he got a
end,
promotion.
yeah.
He was barely in the episode.
Get a post-credit
But,
scene.
Nobody.
Win had a lot of
But
good
Kara
moments.
and Alex had a really cool
Win
moment.
was
And then
great,
Alex,
yeah.
and then Win is hands down way better this season.
Oh yeah.
Giving
Well, they found, like, that's where
It
he should
never
have been.
made any sense for him to work
Be
at
that-
at
he was
Dio.
Dio
Far
was
too
great.
smart.
Yeah.
And then him and Alex had
He's
a
an
really
IT
good,
guy.
They had a really good rapport as they worked together to kind of figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Although nobody else in the office knew that Kryptonite was in the air. Like you're a whole agency whose deal is aliens, and you work with Kryptonite, and you don't know that it leaves trace radiation in the air. Whatever, doesn't matter. And you got Hank and Clark, some cool scenes with them. And
Real quick, I'll say about Clark, I don't know that the show could have had another episode with him.
No.
I really liked it last week. I liked it this week, but it was getting a little bit like, man, there's 2 of you, and you still kind of like struggle.
That opening was one of the best things I've ever seen on TV, where they're just saving the
fire
day
thing?
together.
Yes. Oh, that was great. That
and
was
then they
great.
stop the robbers.
But
and
then
like, I'm with
later in the
her.
episode, I'm a
And
little
I
bit
loved-
like,
it felt like a great homage to the old George Reeves Superman. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that, but always,
They
every
found
episode,
real
they pull
late.
out guns, shoot, and then when they run out of bullets, they throw the gun.
Yeah.
Why?
Also, I will.
Because it's useless.
Yeah, and so when they
Get
have
rid of it.
that, my favorite scene was the punch, and like, why the punching?
Yeah,
After
I've
the
never
gun,
seen
after the
that.
bullets don't work.
I want to raise just one point. Like one of my favorite things about the Superman animated series is the first time that they had Superman and Supergirl fly, they really got across that feeling of how wonderful it must feel to fly and that joy of flight. And there's one shot of Kara in this episode that I felt like I got that feeling during that sequence.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's just a beautiful shot from behind her, and it's kind of like tilting as it goes, and it's just really beautiful story.
Yeah, can I tell you my dream when you're talking about no more Superman for the show after
At
this?
least right now.
At least right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I would cream my pants if he got one of those 4-show deals that like Captain Cold and like where, hey, you can just show up on any one of the shows whenever
That's
we
a
want
magic
you to.
deal.
Because I just want Superman to show up on Flash.
Yeah,
and
no, that'd be
Arrow, and
amazing.
Legends of Tomorrow. And
It's not going to happen until we break down the barriers.
Everybody would treat him the same way. Every one of those shows would be like, oh, Superman, except probably Oliver Queen.
Well,
Yeah, and that's what would be a great
I don't know.
dynamic. Oh.
none of them would be that way about Superman because they don't know who he is.
No, they.
Well, but it's still
on
Superman.
there.
When an alien flies down and that
Yeah, if you thought
costume,
Damien Dark was
epic-
bad,
yeah,
like,
like the
Superman.
missile's about ready to blow up Arrow Cave, and Superman punches it out of the sky. They're like, oh, it's Felicity would lose her mind.
This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
There's a question in the comments here that I like from Jesus Tadeo Lerma Rodriguez. I think the whole Clark abandoned you would have worked better if Alex actually said that to Clark.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of
But you don't say
they
that
lay
to
a lot
Superman.
of seeds that I hope kind of pay off later. Some of the conflicts and stuff like that with the Kryptonite. I hope that Superman taking the Kryptonite plays out later.
Yeah.
I hope some of that dynamic that Alex presented plays out later in the season.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
All right, Supergirl.
Yeah,
Flash.
real quick. I was let down at the moment where she gets hit by the kryptonite, and she's like,
That
"Oh!"
was
and
the-
it's this great
literally-
moment, and then she's like, "I'm fine."
Literally, the only weak moment of the episode to me was when the first fight with Metallo, which by the way, great setup that he's a great way to get Superman and Supergirl to show up. Like, oh, I'm gonna commit suicide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She uses a car to defend herself. It's really cool. And then for some reason, she jumps on the car and like, haha! It's like, well, you didn't. He's still there. He's literally right there. Like, he didn't do anything. and then she gets blasted. That was it. That was the
And
only
then
time.
she's fine.
Yeah.
100% fine.
She's
Oh,
limping. She's
I'm
limping a
fine.
little bit. She's
But
limping.
we got enough Supergirl
Yeah,
stories.
yeah,
All right, we got to hear from the other
It
three
seemed like
awesome.
everybody else now.
Do we do Check-ins now or End of Rounds?
Go ahead and hit up
Okay.
Flash really quick and make sure you guys keep voting so I can do a quick poll.
It's in the
at end of this.
description.
Cool. All right, so Flash this week. So it's the first time that we settled into our new reality a little bit,
Yes.
and we also settled back into a little bit of fun. I would say the show's obviously had to deal with the consequences of Barry fucking the timeline. So now it's a little bit like okay, a little bit back to like let's have dates, let's have Harry Wells return, which is amazing, and everyone's like when is he gonna come back? I like that we got a version of Harry Wells back, by the way, that wasn't just that whole season of Where's My Daughter?
Yeah.
That like Liam Neeson Harry. So we got a lot of like a return to that. I really like the Jesse Quick show up. I feel like the Magenta storyline doesn't need to be talked about so much. It
will not pay off later. Let's just all agree on that.
It was fine. I really like, though, something that we've only really seen with Flash crossing over in Supergirl is Flash team up with Jesse Quick. That is something that we have not seen on this show. And so to finally see him literally have someone keep up with him. You know what I mean? Like in a team effort, we haven't had that kind of fun storytelling, and I'm really excited about the fact that they're like, yeah, let's stay here for a little bit. It's the same energy of Clark being on Supergirl, where it's like, yeah, let's have someone play with Flash. That's why we want to see Superman on Flash so bad. It's like, oh, those two are great together.
I just want to see Superman everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at the
Gossip
shirt.
Girl,
Yeah,
anything,
really.
I will say there was a positive and a negative. I thought that the scale of the final moment with this, with the tanker going over the hospital, it's like, oh my God, if she drops this, like she's not just like killing her brother, she's like murdering
Wiping out a
lot of
hospital,
people.
yeah.
But then they're like, she's got super strength. It's like, from where? It's just she's like thinking at it like there's a name for it. You guys all know, and telekinesis. Just say.
she's
Yeah, well, it's magnetic.
Power. She
Yeah.
has Magneto
She's
powers.
basically Magneto.
That's Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it was a little confusing there.
Magneto.
Magneto.
Still, though, it's not super strength.
Yeah, where did she use super strength?
Everyone kept saying that throughout the episode. Like,
Oh
it must
no,
be
because
super strength.
they thought it
They
was.
thought it could be.
They thought it was with the pole.
With the
I'm
lamp.
an idiot.
But yeah, no, that was great.
Oh, Brad F1 brings up a good point. How do her clothes not catch on fire before she...
When she's running, so she doesn't use the Speed Force, she uses the Quick Force. That's what I.
No, they totally
They're
talk
very-
about the Speed Force.
Barry's clothes stopped catching on fire too.
Yeah.
They no
Yeah,
longer catch on fire.
Except for when he's around girls.
You know what?
only
I
happened
did
around
like.
girls.
I did like the new room that they established that he didn't know about, and also the Earth 2 characters didn't know about it as well because they were not
That was
affected.
great. So
I
now we
love
know.
that.
Now we know
Yeah.
that Flashpoint doesn't cross.
Doesn't cross
that-
universes.
Everybody that were like, it's going to affect Supergirl, and they're like, the writer's like, haha, no,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, fuck you.
So real quick, I also really like the fact that Barry, at the end of the day, he didn't just like run really fast and push something,
Yes.
which is usually his way to save
Yeah.
the day. He actually had to talk to someone and talk him down and do some good counseling. We see a lot of
While
that. on
Jesse
Superman
ran
Monday.
around and pushed something?
Yeah, well, it's her first episode.
Hey, you know what? It was
get in
one
there.
step above just running real fast.
yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
We'll
I
take
will.
it.
I will take it.
We'll
yes,
take it.
yes, yes.
And then I was just, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was just cracking up at Wally this episode where it's just like, man, okay, we get it. Like, I feel like he would go after a radioactive cheetah to bite him if he could.
He
just to have
definitely is
it.
going to do something stupid. With
He's
Dr.
going
Alchemy.
to.
Dr. Alchemy's
we
gonna
all-
be
we all-
100%.
We can all predict exactly where that story.
Oh yeah, we were
going.
talking it out after the episode. It's like like he's gonna go to Dr. Alchemy, he's gonna keep it a secret, then Dr. Alchemy's gonna make him do something that's against the whole team.
Yep.
He's gonna come out and say, okay, I have powers, but it's not from Dr. Alchemy. Then it's gonna come out that it's from Dr. Alchemy because the thing that he uses to turn people into whatever is going to kill him or is gonna bring him close to killing him, and they have to fix it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly.
We had that moment
wrench.
before we did a plays, and I was like, shit, he figured
That's
it
all.
out.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Here's the one wrench that might get thrown into that.
Please.
Is
Please surprise
Cisco also has something that theoretically Dr. Alchemy might be able to give him, which is his brother back, depending on how far reaching Dr. Alchemy's
Well,
dimensional
we don't
powers
know.
are. We don't know
exactly.
that,
yeah.
we don't know if it's just a powers thing or maybe there's other
You
elements.
could make
he
like a
bring back.
zombie kind of thing. Like if he brought like the life force or whatever the fucking energy
Whatever
from
he
another
does.
timeline
Yeah.
into
Yeah,
this
the
one.
point is we don't know how far reaching his powers are, so maybe
Yeah.
Cisco
Then you get another
Oh shit! If he brought Dante back.
So just real quick wrapping up, I really like, actually, it might be the lamest for some people, but I really like the Barry and Iris dating sequence.
Yeah.
Specifically,
I think Iris is better.
the second one.
Oh, Iris is way better. The second one, obviously, the first date was nice and awkward, like all our dates. But the second one, I think a lot of people missed this. It was nighttime. And Barry takes her to somewhere where it's daytime for their date.
Oh, no, I thought it was daytime thing because then
he goes from night to day. No, that's also the funny part because he just leaves her somewhere where she has to fly home.
Her in a
But he took her. I think it was supposed to be like, oh, there's this California or something like that. I think there was an implication there. I love when you use your powers to get your Mac on. I love that.
And also,
man, you got to use whatever you got.
More smart retcons or like smart changes, like adding like alarms, like Iris's alarm. When she's in trouble, like that's
and he's
smart.
like, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So overall, I would say it was a very fun story. The tanker sequence I thought was amazing. If we get into an action category,
look at that damn shot. I know there's some CGI there, but like that's so freaking cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's the epic
And
moment.
He didn't just run in a circle this time. He ran a damn figure eight.
That's 2 circles.
He made 2 circles, and that symbolized Jesse coming in. Cool costume.
Yeah.
Basically trajectory.
Yeah, trajectory's
like a
custom.
few different
And a
things.
logo.
I'm not sure how I feel about the black lightning bolt.
It's cool.
That feels a little aggressive to me. It feels like a bag. That feels like the bad guy gets the black lightning.
Well, it's
bolt.
like, what was she gonna get? A pink lightning bolt, DJ?
Right.
I don't know, like a normal yellow one. Like you know how like his Kid Flash's is different. It's just the 2 arcs. Maybe like the Kid Flash one, but yellow. I don't know.
So a lot of fun this week on The Flash.
Not as much fun as Arrow. Here I come with my points that I have. They're clear and more concise than just me listing off things that happen in Legends. But make sure you guys keep voting for your shows. I did notice that quick update just because I wanted to rub it in somebody's face, and we're gonna rub it in the face. And yep, Arrow is still ahead. Holy shit! Something else is catching up very quickly.
Let's adjust it, shall we?
Yeah, really quick. Do a quick adjustment. We'll do Arrow.
Oh, now you guys aren't voting for Supergirl.
Legends.
All right.
What did you say?
Listen.
Supergirl.
Arrow is at the top right now.
Can they see
boy.
these results?
But by the way, real quick, this week good overall.
Good for everybody.
The shows for all pretty much on point.
There, Legends, Flash, and Supergirl. DJ, you gotta start offering bribes to him or something.
Jeez.
All right, now going into Arrow.
Talk about why it's the best.
This episode, I think, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I really love what this season is doing because not just the team aspect, but you're also seeing like different parts of the different stages of Oliver Queen.
Yes.
They're like within each of these team members, even Ragman. And man, by the way, one negative. Ragman looks really strange outside of the rags. I was like, you look
just like perfectly normal.
Yeah, you're like a normal dude.
Just like a handsome
guy. It makes me feel more uncomfortable that you're killing so many people. I'm like, you're really threatening. Anyways, I like the dynamic they started setting up with the team members. I'm waiting for them to really dive into Artemis more, Evelyn Sharp.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of her, but we're seeing Wild Dog, and we're seeing This Is Outlaw Oliver from the first season.
Yeah.
And most of all, my favorite part of this episode that explored a lot, especially with Thea's storyline, is that we're getting not just Arrow, we're getting Oliver again. We haven't had Oliver in a long time. Don't say that the flashbacks counted in the past 2 seasons.
Because they do. No one says that.
But we're actually getting an Oliver again, and he needs that identity. We need that playboy. We need the mayor. We need somebody, and we're getting that. Also, it's just fun to see crossovers with something that's not superheroes, because we had Stardust show up, and he gets affected by Stardust, and he gets the superpower of not feeling pain. That's an actual thing that can happen, and it looks like a nightmare because he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'm alive. Like, it's fine." It's like, dude, you're bleeding a lot. He's like, can't even feel it. Let's make everybody like this. But you could see that they were having a lot of fun making this episode. Yeah. We were able to get some costumes for Mr. Terrific, which is a fun thing. We'll go ahead and take a look at that.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad they went for it.
They went for it. I think they can improve. They can improve.
I think if they did something with the eyes, if they did like where the eyes are whited out or redded out, like the red glowing, like he's got tech stuff going on in there, like he's got contact lenses with tech stuff.
No, this is supposed to be like in the comics. It's like a tech apparatus that you can use to control.
Right now, maybe he'll still improve on it.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. But also, branching out just from the Oliver storyline, like we're actually pretty quick to deal with the Ragman Felicity conflict that was set up in the last episode right off the bat, and it wasn't resolved because it can't be, obviously, because a lot of people died and like a lot of people important to him. So now we get to see that. Hopefully it doesn't burn out too quickly, but we get to see how that evolves in the next couple episodes, and it gives Ragman something to do because he didn't have too much besides creating relationship with Mr. Terrific, he gets to grow more.
Yeah.
And
I'm
each
glad
character
that they
gets
didn't
to.
wait. Like that's something
Yeah.
that I feel like Arrow season 1 or even season 2 or 3 would have waited 4 episodes to address.
And, you know, but this also brings back a trick that I always liked Arrow did. Like when they would ever introduce something that, you remember when Roy killed that cop?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I guess we're forgetting about that. And then halfway through the next season, they're like, no, we're addressing it. It's
Yeah.
like, it's that kind of thing. Remember that thing that you thought was kind of dumb? Guess what? We're circling back and making it a little less dumb.
It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
How do you guys feel in general about the way they treat killing on that show?
It's getting strange, and I think
yes.
they need to kind
So,
of maybe draw
create
a
a rule
line.
because Oliver's like, I'm okay with killing again as long as it is important and it matters. And,
And
Wild
it's
Dog,
me.
and it's me. And then
Right,
but
the
Wild
line
Dog
keeps
can
kinda
just shoot
moving.
whoever the fuck he wants in the
Yeah.
face, and it's fine.
Yeah, but also like, okay, they weren't killing last year, but they shot a lot of people
here's
with
the thing.
arrows.
Yeah,
They did shoot a lot of
non-lethal.
people with yeah, they did shoot a lot of people with
No,
arrows.
well, also supposedly they're trick arrows that we don't notice, like
Well, no,
it's
the
like a
thing-
suction
the thing
cup
for
back.
me- and also Diggle had that thing that looked like a gun, but I guess was supposed to be like a dart thing.
Kind of
it
like,
looked like
kinda
a
like Age of the
fucking
Shield.
gun.
Right.
Yeah, but
Which was
Yeah.
forced.
Wild Dog's gun is
Basically.
just straight up a couple of Glocks. Like he's
Yeah.
just shooting people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like to see that he, like, Oliver can own up and he's growing as well throughout this season. I would like to see the mayor part go a little bit further, but I like to see, like, there's interesting steps they're taking with the characters, and specifically with Diggle, because, like, bringing back Deadshot is great. Like, it's something that, like, maybe this could be, like, a Flashpoint, like, remnant, like, he's not dealing with it well since the gender of his baby has now switched into an entirely different person. And, like, maybe this could be, like, a side effect, but we get to see that he exists and he still has a life outside of Oliver Queen and the Team Arrow.
Also, you want me to help you out with something? You want to throw
Throw it in
something
there.
The flashbacks don't suck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, no,
They're actually-
that's
they're
KGB's,
actually-
correct?
Yeah, they're actually pretty engaging.
And also, it's like it's this weird like brothership kind of brainwashing storyline they're going with. It's like, no, you killed like a murderer. And he's like, wait, he was in the same running as me. So like, what does that say about me?
right.
Were you just tricking him? Like, was I supposed to win the whole time? It's like this is like some really interesting mind games that I'm excited to see pay off.
But here's the thing: it's not just that they're compelling on their own. It's that thematically they feed back into the episode that you're watching,
Yes.
and they've been able to accomplish that every single week so far this
And
year.
it's not just that. Remember that goofy totem thing? Well, that's also in the
Yeah, it's gonna
present.
show up here.
Yeah,
no, but
it's better than
I
that.
don't love how on the nose they do it. A lot of times
That's
it's
true.
like, wow, weirdly, exactly 5 years ago I was having this exact same dilemma.
We
Hey,
kind of had to
listen,
accept
they
that,
did that.
really early on. It lines up
That was
perfectly.
basically how it worked
You could
in
make it a
season
little
1 and 2,
much
and the flashbacks were a lot better there. So go with what works.
I would
guess.
I don't know. I'm actually really feeling this show, and we got. I think the more fun they can have with the trick arrows, specifically the takedown of Stardust, which I'll come back to in a second. It just keeps leveling up the episode, and then you finish with like, you know what? I'm excited for next week. I'm willing to come back. But that's all I have for
now.
Arrow. Let's head over to Legends of Tomorrow, which I had a lot of fun watching this week. But that's you.
Legends of Tomorrow. Okay, what a stellar comeback from what was a disappointing premiere episode. I feel like they mopped up a lot of the big issues that I had with last week. And Legends of Tomorrow as a show, it's very different from any of the other ones. Like, because I feel like its objective is different. It's about pure fun. It's about bringing in as many elements of comic book awesomeness as possible. It's less about building an overarching narrative as it is about giving us really fun experiences week to week. And this week we had excellent fight scenes. We had the Justice Society of America on camera and working together in a way that was true to those characters, but also really entertaining to watch. I liked a lot of the smart choices they made this week. They gave Dr. Holloway a really solid storyline, a reason for why he does what he does. They gave him powers in a very, I think, elegant way that I didn't see coming at the beginning of the episode. Like, you could kind of tell what was going to happen after, the serum with Ray and everything. But like the fact that Dr. Stein having to confront the fact that he's not a leader is great character development, at least for this show. Victor Garber, who is a musical theater like genius
Kisser.
and like he's amazing. Getting
I
to
almost
sing.
like choked up a little bit because I was like, this is
It's
perfect.
like you can't cast Victor Garber in something and not have him sing.
What are you doing?
Like throwing some twists in there, having Reverse Flash come in at the very end and straight up murder our man, who was supposed to be kind of like our window into this whole universe. The fact that they connected it to the last scene of the first season, and in such an interesting way to have them meet our man before he actually went forward in time to tell them about it, and then to completely erase that from existence in a weird way. the show works best when it's fun, but also like obeys its own weird logic, if that makes sense.
I don't know if the Our Man thing makes sense to me.
I think it might pay off in a little bit because they're getting better
also.
at kind of explaining a few things.
Yeah, like not even explaining, but just sort of justifying in a way that doesn't feel completely stupid. Like if I never hear the words Timequake again, it'll be too soon. But yeah, just all of the fight scenes felt different. I felt like what will eventually be a romance between Ray and Vixen felt pretty natural to me. I like
Vixen's look.
Her look
I also
is
feel
great.
like they're setting up Citizen Steel and Sarah.
Yeah.
Also, of course, Sarah's the leader.
Except
of course she is.
She's bi, but they've been pushing the lesbian thing so hard.
Yeah,
I almost wonder if like anything that feels like a romance with her, unless it's a woman, is a red herring.
No,
because they really like that.
They
I feel
flirted
like
with that idea with Captain Cold, and I didn't. By the end, I was way on board with Captain Cold being gay. I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Oh,
But
he's not Supergirl.
Yeah, when it wasn't.
Yeah, but in any case, huge improvement over last week. I love Captain Nazi. We had the Justice Society and the Legends fight the Pink Hulk.
I don't know if he needed to Hulk out.
Oh, we needed it.
We needed a Hulk.
Was it perfect? It wasn't. But it just added a really fun element that
That's true.
what do you need two teams for? To fight this thing.
Exactly. And here's why, like, Legends needs a Pink Hulk when none of the other shows do. Like, they're the same show that had them fight a giant robot last year.
Oh, that was so cool.
So cool. But that's the show that this is. This is the Pink Hulk show. This is the giant robot show. When Legends embraces itself and goes silly, but like pays attention to how to do it properly and does character development along the way, that's when the show is at its most successful. And I feel like this was one of the show's finest hours. And the best of the week.
One comment I got, a Vagrant Spectre 38 says, does Ray know about present day Vixen? And just in general question, no, none of the Legends know of the one that Mari McCabe that showed up on Arrow and has her on CW show. This is an entirely new one. They get to have fun with her.
Turns out
she's her grandmother.
Ray's her granddad.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I love playing with that. That would be super fun.
One negative, when they talk about like he got to fight a dinosaur, it's like, show us more. You find a dinosaur. I wanted more dinosaur.
No, we needed a Pink Hulk, buddy.
We needed Victor Garber singing, and then we needed this really, but funny, awkward scene where Ray has to try to say Heil Hitler,
And he just can't do it. He's too much of a
This
Boy
was something that
Scout.
confused me a little bit. They were in Paris, right?
Paris.
Yes.
Because it was a little bit of a stretch that Vixen was going undercover dancing with Nazis in 1942. It's like that's a different
This is the height of them being like the worst of not like the worst of the worst. So it's like so you get the one comment that's like really racist, and you're like, okay, I mean, you went that far.
Yeah.
Maybe stop because I can't really hear that on my shows.
Well, I appreciate that last week, like, Jax brought up the fact that, like, time traveling for black people is terrible.
Yeah.
It's not
Sam, what
fun.
are we doing on those? How are we doing on those?
All right, so we hit our stories. We hit our story points.
Wow. Upset, and by one vote.
Supergirl's leading ahead by one vote. But we'll
Over the
still
Flash.
go ahead and switch
Just over
out
Flash.
Legends and Arrow, and then Supergirl and
So you
Flash.
said I was like ahead, and I thought I was guys, Superman. What are you doing?
I mean, we did have him last week,
Yeah,
and we
but
had
like-
Metallo last week. So I mean,
No, we didn't. We didn't really have Metallo last
we
week. What are we
had-
doing now?
we had
We're
the
doing,
word.
We're doing. We had the word.
Weapons 0 to 2.
We're doing action.
ooh, I think DJ's getting ready to throw out some fighting words. All right.
Well,
we have-
listen. This episode had some amazing action sequences because not only do we get a couple bouts with Metallo, we get that final fight where they're both taking on different Metallos, and you get Supergirl teaming up with Alex in her Kryptonian armor from
Which
last
was
week.
Which is
dope.
pretty cool.
Really
Yeah.
throwing
Love
down.
that.
And then, guys,
I'll show you.
guys.
Okay.
We had Superman and Martian Manhunter teaming up and fighting together.
Yeah.
On
We had-
TV.
Here, ready?
Guys.
Shot one.
Live action.
Oh my God.
Guys, live action.
Shot two. Oh God.
They teamed up and they flew together for like a second. It was really cool.
They were at the Fortress of Solitude.
That was
But
wonderful.
we're talking about action.
I know,
Right now.
it
We're
was
talking
so
about
cool.
action. Not only that, and again, this is what I was talking about last week. I'm sorry. sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I'll pick him up. It's okay.
We understand.
The thing that I like about the show's action is you get the big epic action of Supergirl and Superman stopping that fire, then stopping the robbers, and then you get Superman and Supergirl versus Metallo, and then you get the team up versus Metallo, big epic super stuff. But then you also get Alex taking on the Cadmus agents, and what was a really pretty cool. The setup for it was a little nebulous, like why is she going alone to meet up with Cadmus people?
But she's in a bad mood.
She's in a very bad mood.
But that firefight she had with them where she's sliding under tables and shit was really dynamic, really interesting. I thought the action last season was good because it was varied, but this season it's not only varied, but it's very kinetically shot, very energetic.
Yeah.
And again, just that going from as crazy epic as possible to the more like spy espionage Bourne type stuff is really cool for me.
And I'm going to give you the action. This one, the fact that they did that split up thing where it's partially Metropolis, partially
National City.
Century City, which is a mall down the street. So that is more clever than just your standard action sequence, where it's like also introducing a dilemma that is actually making it harder for them.
Well, and also deals with the fact that what Supergirl's main lesson has been on Earth is that the difference she has between her cousin is that she's stronger working with other people. All these shows do better with their teams, most explicitly Legends, but Flash has his team, Arrow has his team. You know, Supergirl understands the importance of working together, and they give her the moment of figuring it out. As a old school Superman fan, I was a little bummed that classic Metallo was fighting Supergirl and not Superman.
That's what you need.
But I understand why it was done. It's Supergirl's show, and I'm happy that it is, and I love her. And so it's just again, like just Superman and Martian Manhunter fighting side by side, live action on TV, and that's not the topping. That's you've got Supergirl and Alex coming together, working together. Somebody in a robot suit punching a guy with a kryptonite heart. Like that's amazing. I would say there's many cool things we had this week, and Arrow's been really solid on action. Like I think this week that was that dual fight scene, and the way they cut between it was the action scene of the week.
Very cool.
Okay.
I'll give you. It was pretty good, but let's hear some arguments from the Flash.
Okay, the Flash had an action sequence. It was the ship we talked about earlier. Blew our load there. But we can see a picture of it again. You can see it again. Very cool. Large thing.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Oh man.
Sorry if you guys can't see. It's right.
Look at that.
There it is.
That's the ship.
Thank you.
And we got the figure 8. And I feel like Supergirl really had a great action week.
That's Flash.
That's Flash. One thing. And Magenta made a lamp bend.
She did.
And it was cool.
She made a whole lamp bend.
That was pretty awesome.
What about when she comes and he gets
What about at Central City PD when she was bringing down the entire metal wall?
It was.
Oh. Maybe Flash is going down on the pole.
I normally liked Flash a lot last week.
There you go. And then here's the argument. Okay, over to Arrow. I think we had a lot of solid fight scenes, not just for Oliver because it's his damn show. Like in the intro where he was taking on that one guy, and like, okay, cool. Now you're like a cat playing with his food. Like you're like shooting arrows at him, and then you like tie him up, and then you kick him off a roof. I'm like, okay, this dude is the bottom tier of the henchmen. Be nicer, man. Like he gave you the info. Why the fuck did you kick him off the roof?
He had some hospital pills he's been trying to pay. The only way he could get him is by going into crime. He's had, he's gotten a bad addiction to drugs. He's just doing what he can to make it. And you're kicking him off buildings and shit.
And he's only been there for a week, and he's like, God fucking damn it, I'm going over to Central City. He doesn't do this to us. Anyways, we get that. We also get Wild Dog and Artemis kind of teaming up, mainly Wild Dog taking on Stardust. And it's like, cool, we get another guy being featured to show off his fighting skills. But the cherry on top was when we got the whole team coming together to take on Stardust at the end. My God, is Stardust so silly. Loved him. Please bring him back. I would love to see him more. But my throat was dry. I wanted suspense. But it's cool. Again, I was talking about how terrific in Ragman, where you got to see their dynamic building up. So you got one rag. You got one rag to take down one guy. But you got to see Oliver doing the coolest thing.
What?
This one, the takedown, and I'll come back in just a second because I want to talk about it a lot. But like I'm saying, it's like I said earlier, we get to have a lot of fun on this show this season. So we had an awesome takedown of like grappling to Stardust, pulling him up in the air just to throw him a punch.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the vibe punch we got from last week with Flash.
Yeah,
but times 10.
Also, that I like it was brief, but that hospital fight where he shoots him in the air on the wall, and then he pulls through, and then he gets knocked into the fire alarm, and the mist comes down, and they're throwing down. It's like that was well staged.
There it is. It's like, man, that dude does not look healthy. Yeah, that's not healthy. And then, don't worry, I'll just go ahead and walk forward and roll it out. It's like, man, there's bones and muscle. Your arm shouldn't. Anyways, we get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we had some pretty fun action on Arrow this week.
All right.
But Legends did
now,
stuff.
Matt, does your show have Superman and Martian Manhunter fighting together?
No,
Martin
but it
Manhunter.
does have the entire Justice Society of America and all the Legends of Tomorrow fighting fucking Nazis and Captain Nazi. We had more fight scenes on this show than on any of your shows. I would even argue there's more fighting in this show than all the shows combined.
I don't know. I mentioned like 4 or 5 fights.
Because here's the thing. Not only do we have that sweet, sweet barroom brawl that felt like it was set to jazz or whatever, we also had JSA versus the Legends at the top with Obsidian obscuring everything and like set to almost like a weird synth version of Hazy Shade of Winter.
It was really that whatever their theme for the JSA, if that's what it is, I love it.
It's really cool.
But also, like really quick, did you notice like this is a little hard to see because I tried my best to get it, but I didn't know what Dr. Midnight did, and it's like, oh, he's
That's
blind.
his blind vision. That's his Daredevil vision.
It was super dope.
I really, really liked it. I love the way that they visualized all the different powers for the characters. Commander Steel's like first flip off of that box. How fucking awesome was that?
At that moment, I was sure he was Roy's dad and not Sinister Steel's dad. I do parkour when I don't need to.
But yeah, just like all the fights were really, really cool. I loved the barroom fight. I even loved the fight against Pink Hulk. I thought it was very well staged. I love Nate saving his granddad with Pink Hulk barreling behind them and then getting blown up with a freaking bomber. Like there is just too much cool.
I did like no, he was really hurt by that bomb because he's a hemophiliac. Otherwise, that bomb dropped right on top of him would have been fine.
Yeah, exactly. He's just lying there in one piece.
I'm gonna be honest. If I got that right in front of my face, I would be pretty much dead. Yeah. But I will say, I think the bar fight in this was my favorite fight out of. I mean, Arrow was the best, but to follow up, I think it's the best fight out of all the shows because there's something like take out the superpowers for just a second and just let them just punch the shit out of Nazis. Yeah. How fucking cool is that?
And it's just like super
kinetic. And they're in suits, and it's just like
super
fucking take them down.
Did I not mention that inside the tanker there were fights?
I don't think we saw those though.
Let's look at that deleted scenes.
Let's look at that tanker.
There's there's a Nazi in there. There's at least one Nazi in that tanker.
Of that tanker. I'm
not sure if that's action.
Just saying.
I messed it up, guys. I'm stuck on the tanker.
I mean, that's the only reason I might lose.
To be clear, these are fight scenes that varied in tone, that you could have fun watching any of them, where we were watching a wide array of superpowers and fighting styles. They were very well choreographed, very well performed. It's just like, it's one of the reasons why we watch these shows, are for scenes like this.
Yeah, and especially this show, we want Avengers level team ups and battles, and we definitely got that at least twice in this episode. I will say. All right, did you want to say something?
I was going to say, I think that is also true.
I had a point about Superman.
I think that is also true. That is true for Legends of Tomorrow, but I think that is also true for Supergirl. But I thought it was a little bit more well put together in Supergirl.
Well, it's
to be fair, there's a lot less plate spinning.
Yeah, the question then remains, what do they think?
Right, and that was an action-focused round.
All right,
Devin. About the action.
Just about the
We're getting like neck and neck with a lot of these.
Oh
it's like
my gosh.
2 and 2.
Well, to be fair, again, all the episodes this week were pretty on point.
All right, let's from top to bottom. Legends of Tomorrow. Then Arrow with 5 points behind. then down to Supergirl, and then Flash. Are we still?
How many points?
Yeah, we're
is
still in the right
Supergirl
order.
behind?
Still in the right
How
order.
many points is Supergirl behind?
You've got about 200 points.
200
you need to get.
cover.
Or 150. 150.
Explain why it's better.
Hey, because
Sorry,
for
you
what?
can do it with the final category, epic moment. The epic moment of
What
the
about
show.
Easter eggs?
Oh fuck! I didn't count Easter eggs. Easter
eggs, go.
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. I might be the only one that has them this week. First off, you get
What are you talking about?
First off, you have Snapper Carr, classic Justice League sidekick. He was originally introduced with the Justice League to basically be their Jimmy Olsen, the kid,
Little buddy.
the kid window into that world.
He was exactly the
However,
same this time.
is
He looks like a ball of fun.
Yeah, he's now become the Perry
I'm the
White of that
Kid
show.
Wonder.
He was a lot of fun though. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, he's very
Those
Devil
eyes.
Wears Prada.
Yeah. You also got the Suicide Jumper was an homage to All-Star Superman when Superman interacts with Suicide Jumper. Pretty different, but it was an homage to that. Sorry. You've got the Crisis cover where he lifts up
I love
Supergirl as
that.
the Crisis
That
on
was
Infinite
so
Earth's
cool.
moment when in the comic Supergirl died. She's not
Yeah.
dead in this one, but it's the same thing. They even use it as they even use it as their
Oh, she
advertising.
literally says, "I'm fine." 5 seconds later.
Promethean, the metal that they use to make Metallo, is also the metal primarily used in Cyborg. His metal pieces are made with Promethean. And Arsenal used it for a little bit for his body armor and yada yada. Also, you get another Perry White reference, and the Krypton suit thing is an homage to the many times Superman's had a Kryptonite protection suit in the comics and Superman. the
Usually a
Animated
lot more going on than just
Series.
protecting
They
the
didn't-
shield.
Listen, Wynn did not have a lot of time, all right? So that's pretty much the
That
shield.
line was really funny. He was like, "It's pretty close," and by that I mean not at all. It's like, "Hey man, Superman asked you to make something.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking."
I still love the fact that he did it. It worked. He used to be the IT guy.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
All right, hit us with some Flash Easter eggs. See if
You
we can
know,
be Superman.
I don't know if you guys are a fan of real subtle Easter eggs that don't really connect to comic books or anything interesting, but
That's all Arrow this week.
yeah, the restaurant that they were having their date in at the beginning that went real
The
awkward.
mysteriously empty restaurant?
Yeah, well, it was more
Because he
empty.
rented it out.
The
Okay.
previous time we saw it, because he did rent it out, except it was Ray Palmer who rented it out a couple of seasons ago, and he has that awkward moment where he has that five-person date.
Is it literally the same restaurant,
Same
or is it
restaurant.
just the same
How about
set?
we don't have to challenge the weakest? No, it's the same one because they make a big point about it. It's
Not a lot happened.
it's the most expensive restaurant in town,
Got it.
and so they make a big deal of that time. How Iris is like, how did he get reservations here? And this time she's like, not even impressed by it. So there's that, and also I'm gonna give a little shout out. You know, CW loves its hip music.
Yes.
And I thought they actually did nail it with the song for Barry and Iris. It's called
Electric
Electric Love. It's a great song. Just listen to these lyrics really quick. Tell me if they remind you of
Okay,
anything.
alright.
And every night my mind is running around her. Thunder is getting louder and louder. Baby, you're like lightning in a bottle. I can't let you go now that I got it. All I need is to be struck by your electric love.
Oh, this makes sense because they drank Dr. Thunder at dinner. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Did you notice the subtle words that were louder than the other words? It's lightning. And you know what? The rest of the Easter eggs I'll leave them to you to find.
Okay. I mean, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got a little note there from John Wittig. Says, I like that Casey Jones not an Arrow. It's just a matter of time. I'll be honest, didn't catch it, but I caught a lot of other
When
things.
he was like, I thought the hockey mask was cool.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the assist. But I think a lot of.
You should thank me. You're winning right now.
Wait, guess what? We have two really cool Easter eggs. One is a tie to that show right over there. With the Terry Sloan mention of Mr. Terrific. The Mr. Terrific was a wrestler. Also tying it back to the wrestling theme
Yeah.
of this entire episode. But that means we could be getting a Terry Sloan in Legends of Tomorrow. Because the Justice Society, if you guys don't know, is a team that is enormous. It usually has a roster of like, most of the time, 20 people. And you're like, okay, that's a little much, guys. I know you're all old people, but like, chill out. But it's nice to get a mention to Terry Sloan that it makes sense, fair play, like why he had it in season 4, and then why he has it now with his costume. And that jacket is the authentic, with the T, is the authentic Mr. Terrific jacket and costume from the comics.
Really cool.
They're getting closer to nailing it. They're just a step away.
I want
And
those
then-
I think you're right.
The spheres.
Do the eyes.
Spheres.
That's all you need. But also, the reason why this weird villain showed up in this episode, Stardust, he's not from any comic. He maybe a year or so ago,
Stephen
Queen.
Amell.
Stephen Amell, thank you. He has a real name.
Yeah.
Actually went on to
secret identity.
WWE to fight Stardust. They made like a fake rivalry thing. Sorry, it's not fake. It's everything's real on there. Don't listen to me. And they had like a fight, and he was the Green Arrow, so they wanted to return the favor on Arrow.
Yeah.
And they brought
Bring
Stardust on, created
That's
a
pretty
drug
cool.
named Stardust, had him show up, and they had their fights were they were pretty slick, and a lot of wrestling moves were put into them. They were like a lot of throwing, a lot of like picking up and then dropping and
You
stuff.
know, wrestling moves.
A lot of big like jumping punches. I watch wrestling,
Yeah.
but I think it's nice to like nod to these people's personal
Oh,
lives.
sure.
and bring
We need
it
to
in.
give this episode to Mike Falzone.
Yeah,
Here he
he'd
is.
enjoy
There
it.
he is.
There he
Oh, you're gonna
is.
stay off camera, Mike?
Yeah. Oh, that's okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks for the
okay.
Yeah, that's all
compliments,
right.
though. I appreciate it.
That's my mic.
May I?
Uh-huh.
So obviously, we got the entire freaking Justice Society. We've got Vixen's grandmother.
Hold on. Did we get Alan Scott or Jake Garrett?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
It's not the entire Justice
We
Society.
got Vixen.
We got Vixen with her freaking
That was great.
amulet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw this picture up again because you did get Stargirl, and she separated Firestorm. Just like
Yeah, how cool was that? I should have mentioned that in the action section. But one thing that I do want to bring up that could also be a potential clue about where this is going, or where the DC TV aspirations eventually will lead to, the Askaran amulet, the one that Reverse Flash stole at the end of the episode. So. There's no direct corollary in the DC universe, but according to comicbook.com, when you search for the phrase Askaran amulet, you get a lot of entries that relate to Isis, who is the bride of Black Adam and is an anti-hero in the Captain Marvel Shazam comics. And she draws her powers from an amulet that is part of her costume.
Also fun to know with Isis is that she was part of, there was this like low rent, I think it was in the 70s, it was either the 60s or 70s, Captain Marvel TV show, live action, and Isis was a part of that, and I want to say she might have even gotten her own spin-off.
like TV show.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'll look it up, I'll look it up
Where
right
are we
now
on
while
a
we're
Black
talking.
Adam movie?
You know,
like
they're
4
figuring
years
it
from
out.
now.
I'm just saying, if The Rock has a YouTube channel,
Yeah, exactly.
we can
He can be on
we can
CW.
get Dwayne Johnson to come on the Legends of
Cancel
Tomorrow
the
as
movie,
Black
maybe.
Adam.
Oh, I thought you meant bring him on this show. He's on
We could,
YouTube.
he's on YouTube. We could bring him on this
We'll
show
fight him.
to talk
He'll
about
take up
Captain
all
Marvel.
of his muscles will take
Yeah.
up that side of the thing, and we'll just bring
Yeah,
everybody
Isis,
else.
the Secrets of
Listen to
Isis
his
had
laugh.
her own TV show.
So I'm talking about an Easter egg that's also going to drive potentially the future of this season, and talking about how Reverse Flash is not only traveling through time, he's fucking around with magic.
Oh my god.
Shazam magic.
What if that's like the main thing that they're all trying to harness in a way? What if that's like an energy source?
They're trying to harness the lightning bolt.
Yep.
And he's going to use the lightning bolt to kill the Flash in the present.
Eh.
In the second major crossover that'll probably be at the end of the season.
what are we doing? What's happening right now?
All right, let's go ahead. Everyone had pretty compelling arguments.
Yeah.
Arrow seems to be the most compelling, if I'm allowed to be.
Oh,
honest.
brother.
But we'll go ahead and get an update.
Ah!
Oh shit!
Oh!
I was right
Oh,
because
snap.
Arrow's in the front, right behind it. Legends of Tomorrow, catching up fast. Supergirl.
Where were you guys last week?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. You gotta treat them with stuff like bribes in the comment
Comment
section.
Is that what you did?
No.
He
What?
said, "Help me."
I want but people
He
think
typed,
that you're
"Help me."
bleeding from your hand.
Oh yeah, don't worry. That is blood.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, he is
100%. That is super infectious. We'll all have it by this time next week.
And blow it on you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We've done 3 categories. We're on to our last. And this
Epic
is
moment.
Epic moment.
Epic moment.
Which show had the most epic moment? And I think we've hit them a couple times, but really drive it home for the viewers there, so
Yeah.
you can get those last few votes, DJ.
Like we said, we've already brought this stuff up, but there are fewer. What's happening right now?
Drake and Wiener says, "Legends, people, come on."
Come on, Drake.
Listen,
Wiener.
we got the Justice Society in there, which was cool, but I don't think there are few characters in comic book history as iconic as Superman and Martian Manhunter, and this is the first time we've ever gotten those characters live action together, interacting, fighting together, and I think, I don't know about you guys, but like that's as a fan, that was an amazing moment.
I think, wait, really quick. I think more people in their own households know the name Wild Dog before they know Superman. All right.
Well, they may have said those words at some point.
Listen, if you
I think you're thinking of Big Dog
Yeah.
t-shirts.
if you know,
That's a wild dog.
If you've heard of Superman before Wild Dog, go ahead and vote for Supergirl. We're gonna vote for Supergirl. No, but like that's like seeing that moment, building to that moment of these iconic characters, that it was mind blowing that we're not only seeing them on TV, but we're seeing them at peak form. Like this is the most fighting we've ever seen Superman do on TV ever. Like he wasn't.
I believe we had 10 years.
So
of it.
Smallville fighting was he zipped into a room and hit a guy into the wall, and then he's like, "I won." Lois and Clark. I don't even remember a single action sequence from that show.
I mean, it was 20 years ago.
But
that was like him using his like heat vision to melt a lock in a jail.
We're seeing Superman and Martian Manhunter fight Metallo on TV while Supergirl is teaming up with her sister, which is a deep, meaningful moment. So you got a deep, iconic, amazing comic book moment on TV, plus a deep, meaningful moment for the show. That does it get more epic than that? Like I know Legends of Tomorrow had a bunch of characters, a bunch of cool characters, but they're more obscure. Like they're not. It's more the idea of Justice Society than the traditional. Like when I think Justice Society, I think Jay Garrick, Green Lantern, Wildcat, Ted Grant, those characters. And it's not that Justice Society, as cool as it is. Like this is Superman and this is Martian Manhunter, and they're together taking down Metallo.
But okay, I want you to think about this. In the comics, there is one character on Arrow that can very easily take down Superman.
Dino Ragman?
But we'll get there in a second.
Oh,
Yes,
it just...
I don't know if he
blew the load.
I don't care what
don't
you
think
read
that
in
would've been so
fucking
great.
Injustice. I don't know if Ragman can easily take down Superman.
He can do it. Go ahead, hit us with Flash.
He's got
epic
range.
moment.
So, not going to be what you guys think it is. I don't know if you guys noticed, but at one point in the episode, there was a tanker.
Wait a minute. Is it tanker?
And I don't know if you guys saw this part. I feel like a lot of people missed this. But there was a tanker above a hospital.
Shit, there's a tanker.
And then a
That is
figure
pretty
eight
epic.
Wait a
run.
minute, that wasn't there before.
Yeah, can we zoom in real close on a window
Wait a
on the
minute.
tanker? Look inside the window. Little peep show. No, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw a whole little monkey wrench into this entire system that Sam has established, right?
It's
if you
solid.
if you guys like Flash, if you guys were like, hey, you know what? It wasn't the best week for it, but it's normally great. This week, I'm gonna ask you. It's okay. We don't need it every week. This week, I'm gonna ask you to vote for Supergirl.
Oh, thanks, man.
I feel like Supergirl.
Okay, we're
really
teaming
should
up.
be
We're teaming up.
higher
Supergirl
up on
should be
this
higher up on
list.
this list.
broke the
Supergirl
rule.
Yeah, listen.
killed it.
broke the
Hey, no,
rule.
Flash is great, but I just don't know that this
You're winning. You're
makes
winning.
a lot of
Last
sense.
week, you know?
Yeah, it's
not
okay,
last
but
week,
Flash
you
doesn't
know?
need it. Flash has every other week.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this
Whoa,
makes
that's
as
a
much
little
sense.
bold.
So if you love the Flash,
I
vote
like where this is
Supergirl this day.
I like where
This is a superhero. This is a team up
This
right
is a
here.
team up right
Say.
now.
It's as iconic as Martian Manhunter and
Ragdoll.
Whatever that is, Rat Dog.
Rat
Supergirl
Dog.
and the Flash, they go together well.
Rat doll.
Vote Supergirl. The Flash is great normally.
Yeah.
All right, on to Arrow. I said it before, I'll say it again. What's that?
Nah.
Looks like a couple of dudes hanging from
A
wires.
scissor lift.
I believe that's Arrow jumping off of a scissor lift. Somehow he lifted up in the air.
Which, by the
without
way, why
noticing
was that
people.
there? What were they working on that needed to be there?
Stardust.
Hey man, it's a
Changing a light
warehouse.
bulb.
But for real talk, I'd love that we're getting more Trick Arrows this season, and if we can get a Trick Arrow per episode, I think America can be great again.
I don't think there are 22.
Got
Trick
political
Arrows.
right there.
Oh, there's 22.
Okay.
Arrow. I had more to say. Oh wait, sorry. Epic moment. Ragman. There he is. Did you see him? He used the rags.
He used the rag.
He used the
That's the
rags.
I'm sorry.
Used
Hey,
the
listen, Sam.
I
I
had
gotta be honest
so
with you.
little sleep.
I gotta be honest with you. I tried the whole Ragman argument all last week, and it
It
did not
just
work out
doesn't
for
work.
me. It did not
We'll
work out.
have
because
to.
you can't
wait,
just
we'll have
say
to
Ragman.
see.
Yeah.
Was the C
Weird.
a pun
Hey,
somehow?
hey. If we're talking about a truly epic moment, okay, the most epic moment of the entire week, we gotta talk about
Ragman. There he is again.
No.
Get him away from the mouse.
No, man. I mean, look. Legends Tomorrow is rife with epic moments, okay? Not only do you have the JSA fighting the Legends and kicking their fucking asses, as they should, because the Legends are kind of shitty.
misfits. They're
They're
misfits,
misfits. Not only that, you've also got Pink Hulk.
Here he
Pink
goes.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Here he
You got
goes.
Official
Pink
name.
Hulk.
Yeah, what's
And-
cooler than Pink? Definitely Superman and Martian Man aren't cooler than Pink Hulk.
No, they're not.
Nazi pink.
Barroom brawl, but the
Ballroom
most
brawl.
the most epic has has to be Reverse Flash sticking his hand through Our Man, big twist, killing Our Man, and effectively stopping him from going into the future to stop the Legends from coming back to the past in the first
tomorrow
place.
if they don't do something that doesn't make any sense.
But it's epic.
But it is
Dude,
epic.
Matt
And-
Letcher is killing it.
And Eobard is always fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, and also,
Love that.
seeing him
He's so
meet-
scary.
When just him meeting with a Nazi, and it's just like, God, this is awful. Like, whatever. If this works, this is fucking
Wait,
awful.
how on earth? How did Reverse Flash know where their Justice Society hideout was?
By the way, also real
Check
quick,
the whole
because
Earth.
the same way he knows about Flash and everything, he's been to
Perfect. He's
museums,
been
all that
everywhere.
stuff.
He's got
Here's
it.
my big question: how is it that Barry can go back in time and save his parents and fuck everything up, but Reverse Flash can murder Barry's parents? He can blow up New York.
He's
he
way
can do all
smarter.
these
He's
things.
just a lot smarter.
Not a big
you know?
deal.
He is very smart.
MBD.
Yeah, he's older.
Rewrite history, whatever.
I got no argument for that one. I don't think we should really focus too much on rules with Legends. The whole show is supposed to be an epic moment.
Yes.
Right? So-
Godric Black writes, Ragman and the Pink Hulk is a porno. And I
is
agree.
now.
Someone
yeah.
mentioned the best hero, Ragman. There he is again.
Hey man, I love Ragman. You
I'll
don't
stop
have to
throwing
convince
him
me
up
about
there.
how great
I'm a
Ragman
big
is.
fan of him. Okay, so we're gonna give the kids at home another minute to go ahead and throw in your votes. I won't look.
Yeah.
We'll give them let's give it like 5 more
Hot
minutes.
second.
Yeah, just a reminder, if you
Yeah,
love
well-
Flash this week, it's okay. Just give it to Supergirl. Also, I'm just going to say that show
tomorrow.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you thought that great, you know it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. Supergirl's chest right there. So way to vote
So really,
for
if you're voting for
AOS
Supergirl, you're also voting for the
coverage
Flash and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's not true in
And
the least
Superman.
bit.
And
Su-
Superman.
and Superman and Martian Manhunter.
Wow, what a great
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider
Yeah.
would find you both unworthy.
Great week overall.
great
with
week.
all the shows.
All the shows.
And one thing I really liked about the Legends this week is how much it felt like an old pulpy 1930s hero team. Like even though the costumes were kind of goofy, they were goofy in that kind of way. Like
Right.
the old
I
serials.
love the way that they
Yeah.
like. They,
I'm
like-
surprised they did that on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it was just so
I'm like
good.
that Obsidian, like he doesn't need to talk. He is just
Yeah,
this force
he's-
of like negative energy that can
He
do
reminded
anything.
me a lot of the Shadow, the classic
Yeah.
character, the Shadow.
Oh,
I thought
that's
that was
great.
cool.
Alec Baldwin's The Shadow.
Yeah, everybody.
I love that movie, by the
What?
way.
You
I would
do?
love to review. Oh, I was
I-
as a kid. I haven't seen it since, but as a kid, I love The Shadow.
It does not
I-
hold up.
Oh, shit.
Don't rewatch.
I wrote
he fight
a
Genghis Khan?
short Shadow, the Shadow
It's so
fan film
racist.
that there was no way I would ever get enough money to make it. Yeah, because immediately setting something in the 30s, it's like, well, I'm not going to be able to produce
No,
it.
Kickstarter right now, okay?
Yes.
We're launching a
Inside.
Kickstarter.
No.
Here's the thing,
Interiors.
guys. If he wins this week, if Supergirl
Well,
wins,
no, what's
his
happening?
prize is that he gets to make his Shadow fan
cool.
film for no more money than he already has.
Okay.
Hey! Okay, what do you think about this? I find this really weird Easter egg in my head right now. They might be tying Legends tomorrow with Supergirl. There's a character on Supergirl named Martin Manhunter.
Yeah.
There's Martin Stein.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
There's Martian Stein.
Yeah, and there's Martian Stein on Legends.
They're
By the
each
way-
the last of their kind.
Martin Stein's such an asshole on this show.
Yeah.
But also, I
Like in an endearing way, but like
Cocky Martin Stein is really fun.
he's
Yeah.
really fun. He's really fun. I'm not against it, but
And
like
sad Martin Stein is fun.
also way to endear me to Citizen Steel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, make
I
it
was
feel
I
a
was
good
like,
part
man,
team.
this guy's so pointless, and yet in an episode, I'm already like, I want to see where his story goes.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna go with a supernatural element to explain why he was getting injuries. Like it was like interacting with your grandfather is really not a smart
Right.
move, and so like maybe he was like getting injuries from that. Like if he kind of like keeps getting erased, he's not.
Yeah.
They're
No,
not
they,
gonna pull,
the
like, a
Legends
Back to
of Tomorrow
the
doesn't
Future.
They've
play
done that
rules
before, or
too
they-
much.
yeah, they-
Guys, what did you think of the Logan trailer?
Ooh.
Loved it.
related.
I loved it
Supergirl
more.
related. Logan
Yeah, Supergirl-
trailer.
By the way, if you like the Logan trailer, vote for Supergirl.
I
Yeah,
get
it's-
two
it's-
Hulk
yeah.
fists up.
No, it was the tone of this movie could make it one of the most original superhero films to come out.
Yeah,
they're
Very
starting to switch
excited.
it up.
Oh, it's way up your alley
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
in terms of not superhero films. Just the way that feels
Yep.
like
I'm
a
really
true,
excited for
not
it.
a true grit.
I did a video on it, kind of talking about where I thought it might go on my channel, which I think just went live.
plug.
By the way, I think they might be. They have a perfect opportunity here to integrate the X-Men into the MCU, and
With
I'm wondering.
this?
Yeah, I know. So I'm wondering
what?
because this feels
I
like
love it.
this feels like a table clearing. Like, hey, we're done with what we've set up for the last
Mutants are
16 years.
dead?
So anyway, I talk about that on my video, but
But no, they're taking the two biggest, most important characters that they have,
and this
they're-
is their swan song. They're out.
Yeah.
But so I had to watch it a bunch, and I actually liked it more.
Every time you watch
Not
it?
every time, but like over time, it's like you know what? I really am excited for this movie.
Yeah,
And I like
I-
the Wolverine. I like the Wolverine.
Yeah, James Mangold's entries are like super intimate, and not every superhero
he
story.
done?
Well, he did the
The third-
Wolverine,
yeah.
Oh, he did
and he's
the
doing Logan.
Okay.
And what I like about them is that it's not about like someone saving the planet. It's just a personal story about a superhero.
Yeah,
This one seems even smaller than previous ones, but in the best way. Where
Thank
it's just like I brought it up on Nerd last week. It reminds me of Leon the Professional.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
totally.
Like, oh man, if they just make it that narrow and simple. History of Violence also.
I
feels
looked away for a
similar.
second. Did anyone bring up Hell or High Water? That,
No.
it has this,
No, but it has that kind
It has
of
a
feel.
West Texan
It's
kind of
not
feel.
gonna be as good as that.
No,
movie.
it won't be.
not.
But no, I liked that it's not post-apocalyptic too. I know a lot of people wanted the Old Man Logan. Like
Well,
the world's
it sounds
gone to
like
shit.
watching your guys'
actually.
video. You guys talked about some of the description stuff, and it sounds like it's
It is a little
It's
bit.
pretty
little bit.
shitty, but it's not like barren wasteland.
I mean, they still have like
Yeah.
nice trucks.
yeah,
Yeah,
like they're in like
I like the
cities.
design of the Reavers too.
Remember, guys, to be voting for Supergirl.
thank you.
Now, to be voting for the show that you think won,
real
like
quick,
Legends of Tomorrow.
just by round of applause at the table, did you prefer the Logan trailer or the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer?
Oh,
I could swear to you.
I think Logan's a little above.
Me
Before
too, yeah.
that Drax scene, I could swear to you that all those clips were from the first Guardians movie. It looks literally just taken.
Hey,
No,
all the
they're
shots
in
are
a
pretty
jungle.
amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen,
They're not
remember
in
that-
competition.
Remember
but
that scene
they
where
kinda
Star
are.
Lord's standing out next to space? It's a different kind of space than he did that exact same
And he
stance
put
in
on
the
a
first
helmet
movie.
a different way.
That was pretty cool.
Here's the thing: one shot in that little sneak peek, because it's not a trailer, it's just a sneak peek.
Yeah.
To me, is the reason why those movies are special, and it's the like spacesuits for emergencies, and then someone scratched it under it, or for fun. And I'm like, that's the sort of like delightfully intricate and playful energy that these movies have that makes me so happy.
I think for me, and like you guys can tear me apart, or you guys can
Didn't
too.
you say that Hurt was cheating? Using
is
Hurt
cheating
was
a
It is.
little
Well,
bit.
it always
But
is.
here's
little on the
the
nose.
song. Here's the problem with that. It's so fucking good, Johnny Cash's take on Hurt, that it's like even though it's cheating, it's like it's still great. And also it's so fitting. The tone is like this is the one trailer. It's like yeah, this makes sense.
In our video,
It is cheating,
when
though.
we just had a picture of Patrick Stewart, the like really sad, blind
Yeah.
looking picture,
You hear
I
that
was just
song.
like, I said it in our video. I was like, you look at that picture, you automatically hear Johnny Cash's version of Hurt.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
like
they heard you, and they
and
put
then-
it in the trailer.
And then I was like, oh, now I felt a little on the nose, but I still love it.
But I gotta say, for Guardians of the Galaxy, just for a second, the reason why I get so excited about this movie specifically, and not so much about like Star Wars, like other things like that, is that they're tapping into 60 years worth of space odysseys and adventures that have been created on paper that nobody knows about, but they don't have to go in their brains and come up with it, and they don't have to make it all look similar. Everything's diverse, everything's different, and we get like new characters that get to do different things than what you'd expect, and not following the same damn family around everywhere.
yeah, and all the movies taking place within like a 30-year time span.
Yes, God, that damn place is a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be real.
But
All
not
right.
putting down
More
Star Wars.
Death Star.
Not putting down Star Wars. Sorry. Sometimes it gets sad.
Hey, listen, you know what? Honestly, though, if you like Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy, a vote for Supergirl is a vote for Star
Oh,
Wars.
for God's
Wars.
sake,
Wars.
stop
Wars.
your like ceaseless campaign.
All
Let
right.
the people vote.
All right. I think we're ready. And guys, I do want to
And
do a
dolls.
quick shout out, really quick, if you wouldn't mind.
Supergirl.
Stalling. Better call
Somebody
stalling.
says Sweeter12 says
Yeah.
Baby Groot, DJ Baby Groot.
Baby Groot.
Screw Baby Groot.
No,
and
you
they're
don't
fucking,
mean
the
Baby
fucking
Groot.
Oh,
mascot
God
they
damn it,
jam down my
DJ.
throat. Those fucking cutesy sidekicks
stop
they try to
it.
jam
He's
down
not
my
going
throat.
to be a cute sidekick. He's going to
Yeah,
be
you know
a
what?
miscreant.
You know what? He's not going to be
gonna be
cute until the
murderous.
exact same moment in the movie where Groot destroyed himself in the last one. Then he's going to Hulk out and become Big Groot again. I swear to God, that's what's
Oh,
going to happen.
I don't think we're getting Big Groot. I think we're getting supersized mega giant tree Groot.
Yeah, and it's
He's
going to
gonna land on a
moment they're
planet
like,
made
oh,
of water.
No,
He's
what
gonna
are we
soak
going to
it
do?
all up.
I'm excited for it.
No.
I want
Mr.
Groot to
Negative.
become the
Oh yeah, I
living
forgot
planet.
you don't like Guardians. You didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's fine.
But it's okay.
okay.
Some people didn't like it. There was a person in the
And
comments
some
who
people
didn't
didn't like
it
Supergirl this week either.
Oh, and you know
The
what?
Nazis.
If you did like Guardians of the Galaxy, you should vote for
Post for hashtag Pink Hole.
Really quick, I wanted to give a shout out to on Reddit. I don't know if you're watching with us right now, but you might watch it later. Conwad26. He gave us, he liked last week's episode, but he also wanted to give us some ideas, and I wanted to implement a few of them, but I also want to give you a specific shout out because I like that you went in depth and that you gave us some notes, and I want to, and if you
Yeah.
have ideas for the show, also, if you guys have fan art that you would like to see on this set, we would like to decorate this set with like maybe props.
That wall.
This entire set.
Props, notes, pictures, anything you'd like. Anyways, want to give him a shout out because he wanted to include some criticism. I like that we sprinkled that throughout this episode. He wanted to bring in bigger prizes, which, by the way, get ready for whoever wins.
Oh, shit.
And
Bigger than my whole tub of ice cream
That was
I won
pretty
last
epic.
week?
That was pretty epic.
And I have one for next week. I couldn't get it in time for this week, but next week the prize is going to be really great. And punishments. So not too bad. Not too bad. But it's an incentive.
I'm down with
incentive to maybe fight a little better.
Listen, I've done everything I can, and Philip has done everything he can for me.
All right, no looking. No looking.
Okay.
Don't look away.
Yeah.
You
Look away.
We're looking away.
All right.
You're like,
All right. Yeah. No. No. No.
What?
It's Supergirl. Damn it.
It's a Cinderella story.
Damn it.
by one vote.
By literally one
man.
vote.
One vote.
One
man.
Hey. Teaming up.
Wow.
Hey.
It's,
listen,
well, guys,
strategies-
we all win.
Yeah.
We all win in this
all
scenario.
win.
I'm gonna be honest. There is a function where you can go back and vote a bunch of times over and over again, and I will not get rid of that. But guys, next time, come on,
Ragman.
All right, Ragman.
I'm telling you, Sam, it doesn't work like you think it would.
Oh, it so did. I was 1 point away from you until you
Man.
teamed up and threw Agents of
Beat
Shield.
by 1 point.
Anyways,
Oh my
all right,
God.
guys. We do get to kind of divvy up the prize as well. So here you go. Here's some forks.
All right.
It is not exactly what
This
you
is
think.
our prize?
It's
All
not.
right.
It's
I get
not
a fork.
very
I'll take
clean.
a fork. You know what?
I
I
always
always
run
take
out of
more forks because you always run out. You know why? Challenge to wash. Yeah, challenge to wash.
Yeah, easy to
All
throw
right.
away instead.
All right. Shout out to Erin, our executive assistant. I don't know her title. Anyways,
Yeah.
she went
Erin,
out of her way to
our
go pick
favorite.
up something for us. And DJ, you won. Maybe not fair and square, but you won
Through
an
aggressive campaigning.
ice cream cake.
Guys, you need to help me with
Yes.
this.
Okay.
But before we do that,
Okay.
and I have to
The
participate,
punishments?
we have a punishment. Nothing goes better with ice cream cake than a little spoonful of mustard.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, it's a tart, huh?
Is it all
really-
at once? Is it
Oh, so we
throughout the
all
eating of ice
lose?
cream?
Yes, I think as a nice send-off for the end of this episode, let's go ahead and cheers. Go ahead and cheers your mustard, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Cheers to you.
Guys,
You guys are champs.
go ahead and start a thread in the subreddit for ideas for punishments and prizes.
Yes.
All right? 3, 2, 1. That's all.
Ain't bad. Ain't bad. Nice and tart.
Nope, that's...
Of course, I was.
Watching
Oh
the
man.
episode there, Sam.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, we got, let's see.
Nice a bunch of people.
Guys, all right, I think we're reaching our... Oh, that looks so freaking
Our
good.
end, oh
all right,
boy.
guys, thank you so much for tuning in
I'm taking
to
the cookie, but you guys go
Yeah,
to
take
town.
the cookie.
Superhero
Yeah.
Roundup, Rebirth, or whatever title. Go ahead and give us some suggestions on Twitter.
We'd
at
love
Sam
'em.
Basher, at Matt D Lieberman.
Matt Lieberman.
At Fimo, at DJ Talks Trash, spelt like it sounds.
Does that- Sorry.
Thank you.
But yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, check out Only Stupid Answers on iTunes and Spotify. If it's not still crashed, because Twitter is still crashed, so we weren't able to tweet this out. So that was fun.
Twitter was crashed, so yeah.
Oh.
Spotify, Stitcher.
Yeah, and Nuclear Family, go watch the sketches. We just posted one that I think is really fucking funny. It's another BuzzFeed parody. It's a couple shoot each other for the first time, and it's
has
really
some
funny.
cool practical effects.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
get
big fan.
shot in the dick.
Whoa.
This is me and Fimo.
Anyways,
Yeah.
guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Send us more suggestions on the subreddit. We love you.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, of course, I'm the kid that actually loved eating mustard.
Oh.
That was me
If
as
you
a
like
kid.
mustard, let us know down below. And goodbye.
Goodbye.
Filling out the time before it goes off and everyone's like,
Yay! Damn.